Welcome to Inverclyde, the home of beautiful coastal views, the mouth of the River Clyde, and Scotland's drug and alcohol-related death capital. The population of this region has seen the highest negative change in Scotland over the 21st century, and recently picked up the most dismal town award. Naturally, it must be a pretty miserable region to live in. Wrong. This can be any further from the truth. Before I shed some light on the problems that face Inverclyde, let me take you on a journey on what Inverclyde means to me. Inverclyde is a place that I hold close to my heart, where I've grown up, where my family have grown up, and where they've remained. But one thing in particular that I love about it is that no matter in which direction I set off, if I drive 5 minutes, I'll pass by a place that holds a meaningful memory. So to paint a clear picture on what Inverclyde means to me, let's go a 5-minute drive. This is the first meaningful area I drive past every day. Used to be these tenements of flats called the banana flats because of their cream yellow colour. I remember the summer they were getting knocked down. They were boarded up, no windows, no doors, smashed windows. There's this specific window in one of the flats that was boarded up. So every sunny day, me and my cousin would go up to my gran's. It would sort of make it a goal for the summer to hit that window with a football. So I'd taken shots from across the street when no car was coming, just aiming for that window. And obviously finally one of us got it. But memories that you don't really forget. As I leave my gran's, I think the next meaningful memory is about 20 seconds away in the car. I'm going to say it's the most meaningful memory, but I'm only saying that because my girlfriend's behind the counter right now. But it's a place where me and my girlfriend met. It's this park here, but more specifically, the bench, where me and my girlfriend first met all those years ago as 12-year-old kids. But when I sit on this bench, it's not just the memories of being that 12-year-old with your first crush that comes running back. Memories everything that sort of happened between then and now. Leaving school, starting a degree, going on first holiday. Memories that sort of stick with you forever. I've done all of that with my best friend due to that night at the bench. Going on this journey, it's reminded me how much joy I've got from Inverclyde, and how much joy there is in Inverclyde in general. Inverclyde saw significant growth in the shipbuilding industry, with famous shipyards being used for both commercial and military use. Unfortunately for the region, the reliance of the coastal location of Inverclyde faltered post-war. Married with the decline of traditional industries when Margaret Thatcher came to power, this saw the death of all but one shipyard in Inverclyde, a loss that the region has struggled to recover from. I spoke to Member of Parliament Martin McCluskey to find out why we have these problems that affect us and how we get back on the right track.
A lot of the problems we've got in Inverclyde are quite deep-rooted, so poverty, inequality and a lack of decent employment. I think it's important in Inverclyde to remember that not all parts of Inverclyde are the same. So the problems affecting Port Glasgow and Greenock are very different to the problems that affect Gourock and Inverkip and Weems Bay, and there's a lot of diversity here. In terms of income and wealth and different characters and composition to the towns and villages that make up the whole area. But I think if you were to identify one thing that's really consistently been a problem, it has been that deep poverty in some pockets of the community, and the inequality that's grown over the last kind of 20 or 30 years, especially since we lost a lot of the big jobs and things like shipbuilding and they haven't been replaced in the same way. One of the great things about this community is that there is such a strong network of civil society organisations, third sector, but also just people doing things themselves to try and make things better for their neighbours and friends. Without things like art and sport, that is the stuff that gives kind of character and colour to life. And if we don't have those kind of activities, I think our lives would be a lot poorer for them. Clearly, we've got some really great, I think we're actually spoiled in some respects for the amount of local arts organisations we've got. But if you go back in Greenock's history, we've always had a really strong sense of arts and culture. You even just look at the Greenock Arts Guild, which then turned into the Beacon, set up after the war as a memorial to people that for people who died in that war. We set up an arts and culture organisation, but I think that says something about the kind of area that we are, that it wasn't just a monument, it was a kind of living, breathing arts and cultural institution that we set up. And those organisations persist, but there's also really good new organisations like the Wyllieum, like Rig Arts, like again, historical, but the Watt Museum and the Art Gallery we've got a really, really good set of cultural organisations in the town. And like I said at the start, these are the things that really give colour to life. But I think what some of the more modern organisations have done is they've actually showed how arts and culture can actually help people engage with things like employment, can lift people out of poverty, can give people other skills that they can then apply to education and training.
Historically, art has always had upper class connotations, be that King Charles I poaching the finest painters in Europe to perfect his portraits, or the Medici family's patronage of Michelangelo and Da Vinci. And in 2025, the arts and culture sector remains difficult to break into for those coming from disadvantaged backgrounds. But its ability to make a positive impact on social determinants of health, mental health, to convey issues and social injustices is vital in a place like Inverclyde. And no one in Inverclyde understands the importance of giving aspiring artists a chance, quite like Greg Arts and Karen Orr. Karen tells us about her journey through art and the importance of spreading creativity.
So Rig Arts will be 14 years this year, and it grew organically out of my husband and I's skills. We are both artists, graduate from Glasgow School of Art, and we felt that creativity could be used in many ways to help people with mental health and well-being, like creative regeneration, access to arts, like skills, giving young people and people skills to get into creative industries. It kind of has came out of a question I had like a way back in art school. So I came from a very working class background in Greenock, and when I went to art school it was a real culture shock. I was there because I had a talent. It was a very middle class, upper class environment, and my dissertation at art school was asking the question, why is art in a world of its own? Why do working class people not engage with it the same way that I saw when I went to art school? And I had an amazing experience at art school. I'd always worked in community arts at Postle Park and Rockhill, working with young people as an art specialist in like youth club settings and things. So I experienced firsthand, like, and I would come back to Greenock and I'd be like, how do people not know about this? This is amazing. How do people not know about this? So my question was, why is art in a world of its own, and why are working class people so excluded from it? And my conclusion through the research came back that it wasn't that they wouldn't be interested in it, they just never had the opportunity to engage with it at that level. It was very much something for the privileged.
At Rig Arts, everyone is given the platform and opportunity to showcase their artistic talent, with a diverse range of classes for all backgrounds, skill levels, aspirations and age groups.
We've got a really kind of diverse programme. So at the moment we have workshops for young people, Arts and Mind, which is helping young people maintain positive mental health and well-being. We have workshops for young people with autism, superhero stories. Today in the studio is over 50s, it's young at art, and it's more a kind of tackling social isolation, just people coming together, music, tea, coffee, cake. Arts and creativity are definitely catalysts for change, and I'm a big advocate for it. I've seen it in my own life, I've seen it in my communities, I've seen it in practice here.
I think for me personally, like my motivation is I create art to encourage other people to create art, because I think there's this idea that art is this kind of high up thing that's hard to achieve, but I like to be able to kind of show people like anyone can achieve it. I think art is like a means of communication. So I think sometimes it's really hard to talk about things you've experienced or to articulate things you've experienced. So creating art and like even sketchbooks and wee projects, like it's a way of communicating things that you've experienced and sharing them with other people. So I think it would be good to see in schools like more like importance put on art in schools. I think in schools it's still seen as like a fun subject and like a hobby subject rather than something that can lead towards a career. I think if there was more importance put on it from a younger age as something that can lead into a career or like a lifelong interest, not just like a fun activity, I think that would be positive.
There's a common saying, it's the hope that kills you, but I don't think that could be any further from the truth. In fact, it's the hope that keeps you going. An Inverclyde organisation, Your Voice, run creative recovery classes at the Beacon, where they use art as a tool to help those who had once fallen on hard times. Martita Dunn is a recovery arts developer and believes classes like this can allow for a positive mental health movement.
It was an idea of mine in the end of 21 when I started this job to bring some creative recovery into my job, my role, because my title was recovery developer, and I thought, right, so I got a chance here to develop something that I want to develop. It's been close to my heart, I'm passionate about. It helped me in my recovery as well. I had an idea about bringing arts, I say it, into recovery, but I didn't want to have just like a painting class or a drawing class, or just, I didn't want it to be a specific thing. I wanted to bring people together who were in recovery and to give their ideas of what their passion was, what their outlet was, what it maybe used to be, what it was now, and just see what came out of that. I don't get around it, I am dreaming of a fairer future where everyone is kind to each other and to themselves, where everyone is the same, no one works for the government, only on building and growing what we need, spending endless days and nights being free to enjoy each other, no borders or passports, the freedom to travel wherever we want on our earth, and bathe in the endless oceans and sleep under the stars after the beautiful sunsets. It just works, like anyone coming along to the class or anyone that's been around to see what the classes have produced and the people have produced, it just works. There's some kind of magic happens here, when everyone sits around a table or is in a dance studio, and you can give one subject out and every single person will come out with a different version of that. It just is beautiful.
The aim of creative recovery is to create a space where everyone feels comfortable to be themselves and welcome to participate. No one made me feel welcome quite like Dana, who talks about what the class means to her.
My inspiration itself was, obviously I've got a history myself, whether that is mental health, addiction or addiction in my family. I kind of seeked your voice out at the Recovery Hub for my personal reasons, and then started doing the different projects, the different groups, and I noticed the difference and I kind of started discovering myself. And it really, really helped. I love them because I feel like everybody's so tight and close. You can be yourself, nobody's judgmental. And it's just beautiful to be part of it.
A beautiful thing about art is its lasting impact and openness to interpretation. The preservation of art provides a window to the past, while allowing us to reflect on what the art means to us now. It can even lead to us having deep personal connections to people that we might have never met. Artist Willie Sutherland found a connection in the work of Greenock-based artist George Wylie, so much that he opened a museum in the artist's name.
So I made the decision to get sober 4 years ago just now. Part of the decision to the journey was I'd heard George Wylie speak about 30 years ago about how he was a self-taught artist and started later in life. And it was something that was always in the back of my mind that I was going to do when I grew up. So when I turned 50, I got sober. Within 6 months, I had a major exhibition. George Wylie's daughter found out about me. I started working with them. And then fast forward 3 years, I was given this place when it opened.
Willie also talks about how his decision to create art and showcase it gave him purpose through challenging times.
There's no way the rush of thoughts and ideas that come through in that way translate into words. So using visual art and whether it's filmmaking, editing stuff together, big action paintings, whatever it might be, it's a release. So to be able to spread the message then gives you a sense of purpose. And it's been essential to me. It's saved my life.
Throughout this journey, the importance of arts in Inverclyde couldn't be more clear. The positive impact it has in allowing people to be themselves and come together to create something good in a place that seems so negative to those outside of it. It may not solve poverty and unemployment, but it allows for hope and regeneration. Healthy support and funding in the arts can be key in making this area as great as it once was.